Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Isaac Bunker from the Dental Wolf. So this is a quick dive into insurance basics. This is actually something that has been requested a few times, so let's dive into it. There are a lot of different types of dental insurance. We're only going to dive into 4 different types. We're going to dive into PPOs, DMOs, indemnity plans, and discount plans. So we want to start with indemnity plans, and the reason why is because this is kind of what we typically think of as dental insurance. The world of healthcare has changed quite a bit, and so it's not likely that you're going to see a lot of these plans left, but this is typically how the plan works. So the patient can see any dentist, and the insurance will pay a pre-selected percentage of the dental fee, and then the patient pays the rest. So the insurance might say, oh, we're going to cover like 80% of any restorative procedure that you might have done, or we'll cover 100% of all preventative care. So let's look at a quick example of this. So let's say you have a pro fee and your UCR fee, and if you don't know what a UCR fee is, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting another video soon on what UCR fees are. The UCR fee, or the asking price, is $100 for a pro fee. The indemnity plan will say that we're going to pay 100% of all preventative work. And so the patient will pay 0, your adjustment will be 0, and the practice will collect 100%. Now, also, if you're confused about adjustments and adjusted production and collection, I also have great videos on those, so make sure you look through the channel and find those. I'll also leave a link to those below. Now, let's take a look at a crown. Let's say your UCR fee for a crown is $1,000. And the insurance says, okay, we're going to pay 80% of any restorative work. So the insurance will pay $800, the patient pays $200, and your adjustment is 0 because you're still collecting your $1,000. So this is great. If you can find insurance plans like this is beautiful, right? Because any patient can come see you. You don't have to be in network. There's no contracts, and you typically get paid the full amount of what your UCR fee is. So we're going to use indemnity plans as kind of our base to compare with every other plan, because that's typically what we want to see in an insurance plan, but that's not always what happens. So now let's compare indemnity with our most common type of insurance, which is PPO. So in a PPO plan, a dentist will typically have to go and sign up with the insurance, and so they become in-network. And what a PPO plan will do is they will tell you, the dentist, what you can charge the patient. And typically the patient will pay 0 or a smaller percentage of treatment. So typically when a patient walks into an office and they say something like, I'm here for my free cleaning, this is typically what we see is that part of some PPO plan. So let's kind of compare apples with apples here. So let's look at our indemnity plan. Remember the pro fee, the UCR fee was $100, the insurance paid 100%, and then you collected 100%. With the PPO plan, the dentist will sign a contract with the PPO insurance and say that they'll only charge $70 for the pro fee. So the insurance will pay 100%, the patient pays nothing, and therefore they think it's a free cleaning, and then the adjustment on that is $30. The dentist is collecting $70 off of that $100 that they would have charged. Now let's look at kind of a restorative procedure. Remember what our indemnity plan was. The UCR fee was $100, insurance paid $800, and patient paid $200, and then the dentist collected the full $1,000. With our PPO plan, however, it's a little bit different. The insurance might come back and say, hey, guess what? You're only allowed to charge $600 for this. And so the insurance is going to pay 80% of that, so $480, and then the patient's going to pay the rest. So your adjustment on that is going to be $400, and you're going to collect $600. So why would you sign up with something like this? Why would you sign up with a PPO if you're going to take such serious cuts? Now, I might be exaggerating a little bit the numbers here in this PowerPoint. These aren't going to be exact, and they may not even reflect the real world, but I wanted to illustrate how a PPO insurance works. And the reason why you'd want to sign up with the PPO is because being in network, especially where a lot of people are signed up with those plans, you're going to be able to bring a lot more people into your office. So you're doing more dental work for less money, but overall you're hoping that it increases your profitability. So let's go ahead and compare an indemnity plan with a DMO plan. Now, DMO plans, these ones are the ones that dentists do not like at all, and in my opinion these are awful for patients, for dentists, for everyone involved except for the insurance company. So the way it works is a dentist will sign a contract with the DMO. In medicine, these are called HMOs, and in order to take full advantage of the insurance, the patients have to go to a contracted dentist. What the insurance will do is they'll pay the dentist a monthly fee to have their patients assigned to them. It's $10, $20 a month for each patient to be assigned to the dentist. And the patient is responsible for a flat rate of selective procedures. But beyond that, the insurance doesn't do anything. So let's compare this real quick. So remember our indemnity plan with pro fees. With the DMO, what they'll do is they'll pay you $20 to $30 a month for your patient, but you do not. But when the patient comes in for any procedure, you're not paid anything by the insurance. Rather, you're paid a small flat rate by the patient. So let's say for a pro fee like $10, and then you have to adjust the rest off. So rather than collecting $100 for a pro fee, you're collecting $10 with $20 to $30 a month. Now that sounds great if all the patient needs is a pro fee, but if they need restorative work, it looks a little bit different. So remember our indemnity plan and how that looked. Now let's look at our DMO plan. Again, you're getting paid $20 to $30 a month for that patient to be on record. When the patient comes in for their crown, the insurance will pay you nothing, but they'll allow you to charge the patient a nominal rate of $200, and then you're gonna have to adjust the rest off. So your adjustment is $800, and you're going to be collecting about $200. So you're barely making money after lab fees and everything else that goes on. And so you kind of have to ask yourself, is it really worth it to me if I'm making $10, $20, $30 a month on this patient, if I'm only collecting $200 on each crown? You might even be losing money when you do dental work on some of these patients. So it almost incentivizes a dentist to not treat patients. So in my opinion, DMO plans are actually bad for patients and for dentists because they incentivize less work to be done. All right, so we're gonna go dive into our last insurance plan, which isn't really insurance. We're gonna talk about discount plans. A discount plan really isn't insurance. What it is a dentist will sign a contract with a company, and the plan, so to speak, doesn't actually pay anything out. The patient pays everything. So this is kind of how it looks. Remember our indemnity plan and how that looked. For a discount plan, you have the same UCR fee. The insurance will pay you nothing, but they've negotiated with you that you're only going to charge their people $60 for that $100 pro fee. So your adjustment's going to be $40, and you're going to collect $60. And kind of similar story with the crown, you're going to negotiate a discounted price. So you might say $400 for a crown, your adjustment's gonna be $600, and you're only gonna collect $4. And so the reason why I say this isn't real insurance is because the insurance actually isn't paying you anything. It's just a company that has gathered a group of people in order to negotiate discounted prices on their dental work. Now, this can be confusing for patients because they might have a discount plan thinking that they have insurance, because every time they go into a dentist, they only have to pay, a percentage of whatever the cost is. When you go through financial work with them and they look at how much you're charging versus how much they're paying, they might be confused and ask you, well, how much did my insurance pay out? And the answer is nothing, because you don't have insurance, you have a discount plan. So those are kind of our 4 major types of insurance. Like I said, discount plans, kind of like a pseudo insurance. You have your PPOs, DMOs, indemnity, and discount plans. So if we were to look at them and kind of recap how they work. So indemnity plans are kind of our typical, what we think dental insurance should be. The insurance pays a pre-selected percentage of the dental fee, and the patient pays the rest. PPOs and DMOs and discount plans are all contracted plans. With a PPO plan, the insurance company will decide what the UCR fee should be, and so they'll adjust it from the top and then pay some percentage of that treatment. The DMO plan, they'll pay you a monthly fee to have the patient's on record, and then they'll negotiate flat rates for selective procedures, and the patient is responsible for those low rates. And then a discount plan is just like group bargaining. The dentist will sign a contract with the plan, and the dentist agrees to all the fees, and the patient pays it all. So the insurance, quote unquote, doesn't pay anything out. So one thing to keep in mind with all of this is that not all plans from whatever company, Delta Dental, Aetna, whatever it is that you're looking at, are the same. So for example, Delta Dental could have a PPO, a DMO, and a discount plan, and they all might be very different. And they might actually have a few PPO plans or a few DMO plans and have different agreements in each of those contracts. So just because you see, the name of a certain company doesn't mean you know exactly what you're getting. And that's kind of where this gets confusing, is a lot of patients want to just walk into a dental office and say, I have Delta Dental, like, what can you cover? And the answer is, we don't know what plan do you have. Thankfully, you don't have to necessarily know this as the dentist. You just need to understand the basics. And so you can work with your staff as they get trained, or as you pay for training for them to kind of work through these issues. So kind of some words of warning about insurance. First of all, if you are associating somewhere, you have to be super careful on how your contracts are worded. And the reason is this. Let's say your contract has in there, paid from collections. So it might be like 30% paid from collections. Well, some practices or corporations take a large amount of DMO insurance. So the practice will get paid monthly, but you as a dentist will get very little of what comes in. So let's say that you have a patient that comes in and needs a 2-surface posterior composite restoration. Well, the practice, because of the DMO plan, will charge $10 for that. And you, the dentist, are getting paid 30% of collections. So you just got paid $3 from doing a 2-surface composite. That kind of stinks, right? So you have to be really careful as an associate how you are getting paid and what the patient base of the practice looks like. If they're largely DMO plans and you're getting paid from collections, that's going to sting a little bit. The other thing you need to be careful about is when you sign up with certain policies, you need to pay attention to what's called network stacking or umbrella policies. And what will happen is the insurance guy will come in and he will have a contract for you, and kind of in the fine print of that contract, it will also include other plans that you may or may not realize that you're signing up for, but when you sign that contract, you've actually signed up for more than one plan. So you might have agreed to accept Delta Dental's PPO and DMO plan, or they might even include a few different insurances and stack them all together. So you have to be really careful when you're signing contracts to make sure you're not signing up for more than what you understood that you were signing up for. So the other thing is called claims repricing, and this is where a third party comes in and they do a little bit of arbitrage, I guess you could say. They find the lowest fees among an umbrella policy that they could possibly pay out, and then that insurance company pays out. And then what they do as a third party is they pay back the insurance companies a little bit of what they saved the insurance companies, and the owner, you, ends up getting stiffed, basically the additional money that the insurance companies saved. So you kind of have to be careful with all this and making sure that you're not getting stiffed by these umbrella policies, these repricing schemes. And that's why it's so important to understand kind of the basics of this insurance, is because it's going to make a huge difference in your top line and therefore your bottom line going home. While I was kind of doing a little bit of research, I ran into some kind of creative options that people have to avoid the whole mess with insurance. Obviously, you're gonna have to do your own research on this, talk to lawyers and accountants on how all this works, because some of this can get sticky, but if it's done right, I've heard good things about both of these options. So the first option is membership plans. So the thing with membership plans is that you have to be careful that you're not advertising it as insurance. Otherwise, you can get in trouble with some of the state boards. With a membership plan, what you do is you offer, free x-rays and 50% off cleanings or something like that. For people who don't have insurance but still want to come to your practice, all they do is pay you $100 every year to be a member. And the reason why you do that is because you're actually saving money by not having to spend time submitting claims and processing all the paperwork and things like that, sending it into insurance. So you as an office are actually saving money. So you just pass that down to your patients, and then you don't have to deal with any of the headache. You just have this great membership plan. Now, for some people it works, for some people it doesn't. So you really kind of have to look at it. I have heard good and bad things about membership plans. The other thing is union discounts. This is a great way to market your practice. I hear very few people actually doing this, where they'll go to local unions. Let's say you work in a mining town, and you have your local, let's say you work in a small community and you have your local teachers union there. Well, you can go to that union and say, hey, listen, I appreciate everything that the teachers are doing for the community. I'm the dentist just right down the street from X school, and I want to offer all of your teachers 20% off of their dental work, or whatever it is, assuming that they don't have dental insurance. And so it's similar to a membership plan. You just offer it to the entire union. You don't have to keep track of members or collect payments. They just come in, and all they have to do is say, I'm a member of X union, and they get the discount. And it's great because it brings patients in. You don't have to process insurance. So again, you kind of have to be careful about how you go about doing it. You don't want to cross any of that red tape and get yourself in trouble, but it's a great way to avoid the whole insurance mess. Well, I hope you guys like this video. So I don't do this enough, but I would like to ask you guys to please subscribe to the channel, comment, like, share. I'd love for this kind of information to reach more students, especially in a visual format, because I don't feel like there's enough visual learning material out there. And stay tuned for the UCR fee and other videos that will be coming out soon, and I will catch you later. Bye.